I feel tricked, hoodwinked, flim-flammed, betrayed. Betrayed is good. Betrayal feels like the word, actually. Betrayed. But honestly, I have no one to blame but myself. You see, I thought that the way this whole thing would shake out is that Disney cares so much about protecting their IP as one of the biggest intellectual property holders in the world that they would care so much about controlling the way their characters are portrayed, that they would sue the shit out of all of these generative AI companies. And if not shut them down, at least be a roadblock in their development and slow things down. When they announced they were suing Midjourney to get their stuff out of the data sets, I thought that that's the way things were going to shake out. But it turns out they were all deceived. Because instead of trying to shut down the plagiarism machine, Disney has decided to join forces and give OpenAI $1 billion and access to some of their characters for Sora, which is OpenAI's short form video platform. Do the details matter? I guess the details matter. So Sora doesn't get access to everything, only characters that aren't based on a human. Users can't make Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark do anything. Also, Sora doesn't get access to the dialogue or their voices. So you could have Moana and Elsa hang out, but they can't really talk to each other using the actors' voices. Clips are limited to 30 seconds. And if Disney likes the slop people are producing, they have a chance to be featured on Disney Plus. So yay, UGC for the win. Ugh. I think this partnership is dangerous. Disney's acceptance of generative AI visual storytelling means that this stuff is going to show up in more and more projects. It's going to allow them to make stuff faster. It's going to allow them to make more stuff, not necessarily better. Sometimes you need a long soak for an idea to really come to fruition. That's why I'm kind of thankful that Sony is taking a little bit longer to release that last Spider-Verse film. Like, it was absurd that the original plan was going to be released across the Spider-Verse and then the final one, back to back. That's insane. So give people more time. Thank you. But I honestly think that this portends doom for people who prefer to have people-made things. And right now, the stuff that's being generated is as bad as it's going to get. Like, we're at the stage where that stuff is the worst. And it's pretty damn good. Like, I've definitely been fooled by some of the Sora stuff. And I'm insane about generative AI. So it's going to show up in more and more projects. And that's going to be really depressing. Also, the planet is going to boil. So that's also great. Fuck, I know. And now we're going to have more. So you're going to need bigger data centers. It's a race to make more shit, to capture your attention, to boil the planet. So you won't notice that the sky is falling because you're entertained with your stupid little fucking Sora videos. Ugh. I realize that there's an irony talking about this on a platform that is actively encouraging you to upload more and more and more and more and more and stuff, but I could rant on and on and on and on and on and on about this, but I'm trying not to be such a bummer these days. So, is there anything you or I can do to combat the slopification of our visual entertainment? Well, unless you are a big entertainment CEO somehow watching this and magically decide, hey, let's stop. Maybe we can't really do too much on an individual level. I do think social pressure is working. Like the response to McDonald's AI-generated commercial was pretty severe, bad enough that they pulled the commercial. So I do think that the general public is starting to rebel against this ugly ass shit. And anecdotally, a lot of the kids that my kid hangs out with, they don't want this stuff. They think it's ugly and lazy and boring and gross. Social pressure is probably the only thing that's going to work because the environmental argument doesn't move the needle at all. I know people who love their chat GPT, and the idea that the data centers are boiling the planet and causing our electric bills to go up astronomically doesn't seem to be making a dent. The only thing that seems to really be working is the social pressure aspect of this, and that's not really something you can manufacture. I guess you could rant about it in your friend group until they decide that, hey, yeah, you're right, this is bad. Or they decide, hey, stop hanging out with us because you yell too much. Thankfully, so far, the comics industry is very resistant to generative AI, at least here in the West. I'm not sure what it's like in other countries, but at least here, a number of publishers have spoken out directly and said, we are not interested in generative AI. We want to hear stories from actual people. We want to see drawings from actual people. So there's a little bit of security in that. And it doesn't seem like readers want this stuff. So for now, we're sort of safe. I say safe as we're watching Diamond explode. There's nothing safe in the comic industry. But in terms of generative AI, we don't want that shit. The readers don't want that shit. The publishers don't want that shit. Editors don't want that shit. Sure, they would prefer if you hand in your pages on time, but they want you to hand in your pages. They don't want some machine to do it for you. In conclusion, I am deeply, deeply, deeply Asian grandma level disappointed in Disney. Not only are you devaluing your brand by endorsing this generative AI slop, but you're signaling to artists all over the world who aspire to work with you that you are an untrustworthy partner willing to stab us in the back for quick monetary gain. Ultimately, I don't think this is going to pay off for them. And also, they don't fucking need it. Zootopia 2 just made $1 billion without generative anything. So like, fuck off with this. Fuck off with this. All right, I'm going to stop here. I feel myself losing the thread a little bit, so I won't subject you to that. Hope you all have a safe and happy end of the new year. 2026 is looking to be fraught still. So, but even in these fraught times, it's worth it to make stuff. So I hope you continue to make things in the new year. I will be here to encourage you. And, you know, fuck off with this generative AI stuff. I don't give a shit what other people have done before. I want to know what you are doing. I want to see what your brain can put together and put on a page. I don't care what the fucking data sets are telling me. We already know we've seen all that shit before. We've seen all that shit before. I want new stuff from people brains. And that's the attitude I'm going to take with me into 2026. Your brain, your stuff, your eye. That's what matters to me. This generative shit, fuck off with all of that. All right. Bye.